on Blind Big Banditos. We touched upon that during the last matchup between BPB and Point Defense. So they really want to just kind of ban out uh, Talipie, and you know what? I'm gonna have to actually continue on that because so far the bans from Detalamas are all targeted bans, so that's a strategy that we've been kind of seeing, especially against Blind Videos. But I want to touch upon Maokai and Jack's bans coming out from Blind Pick. Again, all of these champions, it's when they're targeted bans, it doesn't mean that they're not good when used by someone else. It's just that these summoners have been really highlighted by those champions. Of course, Jack's just overall very favored by a lot of people. And Maokai has been, kind of shining here and there, not necessarily widely used. And I want to say, I can't remember, my memory is failing me, but I have to say that someone on Death to Llamas has definitely proven themselves as a Maokai player. And regardless, Maokai is quite disruptive, of course, has really good sticking power, has good CC, and the damage reduction against damage sources that are not towers is really, really beneficial for the team. The rest of the bans were Malphite, Wukong, and Pantheon coming up from Blind Pick. So nothing too special there. We touched upon all these champions, very, very strong champions. Wukong saw play earlier today, but there is a reason why he gets banned now and then, not as often as others, but has AoE disruption, can stick to to champions quite well when chasing, and has overall pretty good bruiser stats, some good defense and offense combined. Malphite, of course, has a really, really good attack speed debuff and that ultimate for disruption. But as I was saying, Lulu and Riven were the other first two bans in the client coming out from Detalamas. So Lulu targeted against Zemike, but regardless of Zemike or not, Lulu is one of the most favored support champions right now on the Crystal Scar. And Zemike has really proven that quite well. So people hate to see that. I cannot remember. I'm pretty sure like the first time I saw Lulu and the very last time was pretty much like the first or second week I joined the Dominate Dominion crew. After that, haven't seen Lulu being picked, at least not by Zemike. And Riven, of course, banned out mainly against Talipie, but last game we saw Jaja doing quite well with Riven also and casted in a very overall ban.
So
and then the picks have gone out. It is going to be Darius was the first pick for Blind Pick Banditos. Darius was not banned and is very, very strong. Has that dunk, as people like to say, but the true damage nuke coming up from Noxian Guillotine. Zyra was actually picked up by Death to Llamas in return alongside Alistar. Out of the matches I've had the pleasure of casting so far, I haven't seen Zyra too much, but the times I have seen Zyra, very, very strong. The nerf, I believe the hotfix nerf has been implemented, so she's not as much in a strong spot, but in a still pretty good spot. Her utility is still there, her damage is still there. It's just some things were tweaked. I believe the range on her snare, her E skill, was a little bit nerfed. It was immensely long, or actually maybe it might actually be the distance, the range of the ranged plants. I'm gonna have to double check that, but there have been some hotfix nerfs on Zyra, so not in the same spot as she was on release, but still basically her skill set, her kit is all there. Nothing has been ruined for her. And then the second and third picks for Blind Pick Banditos have been Kog'Maw and then Poppy, this time left open for Eulalia. So Eulalia is going to be in a really, really comfortable spot.
just a couple more picks to play out for this game. Let's say happy birthday to Take Your Pill, whose birthday was yesterday.
Oh.
Jaja is got Udyr there. What a Parkhurst ops to pick up. And yeah, that Zyra. I don't know if it's Zyra or Zira, so I'm sorry if I say it wrong. But Zyra's a pretty tricky character. One of the things I found out is that you can drop her seeds in like after dropping the AoE, because the AoE has travel time, so you can sort of just kind of spawn plants out of nowhere if you're quick enough. It's really neat. She's a very cool champion. A lot of burst potential, a lot of support potential too with her snare and plants and AoE. I don't know all the names, she just came out. I'm sorry, guys. I will work better on improving my game knowledge of all the ability names as things progress. Seen a Mordekaiser highlight. Something tells me that's not going to happen, but you never know. It could be something new and exciting. Seems like he could be an okay AP bruiser, but we actually haven't seen. I don't think we've actually ever had Mordekaiser played in a competitive environment for Dominion.
That would be very interesting to see. I can see certain parts of Mordecai's skill sets being very, very useful. But as you mentioned, just casters are accustomed to kind of look at these picks that are not common and be like, nah, they're just joking with us. But there's only 2 seconds left, so is Nike serious about this? And unless there's a little bit of a lag here, that is going to be locked in. So we are seeing a Mordekaiser pick for Det Talamas in this semifinal match.
All right, now I'm excited about this game. I like Mordekaiser. I always thought he was a really cool champion.
It's
I'm
it's
gonna
pretty
turn
crazy.
that 4v4 into a 5v3 with the top end of the map. If he goes top, I don't know who's the bottom laner here. Every time I think I know the bottom laner, it's someone completely different. So actually, it could be more bottom
It could be,
or
but then
Zyra.
as you mentioned, yeah, if Mort goes bot, while the rest of his skill set can still be helpful, as you mentioned, the ult isn't gonna be as useful there. But then again, if Zyra goes bot, she's great, but then her AOE, ult, and snare, and also just kind of the zoning with the plants are not gonna be as.
Ooh.
So it's hard. It's a tough call. I mean, we'll have to just wait and see. But all the picks have gone down. The last pick for Blind Pick Banditos was Sona. So Zemike on that. Sona again, most likely going to see a similar build, kind of aggressive battle Sona. Talis PA going to pick up Darius as he was somewhat banned out of his standard favorite champions. Jaja and Udyr, Ilalia and Poppy, both very comfortable picks for the Summoners. And a Parkhurst on that Kog'Maw. So this is blind pick. Excuse me. This is blind pick banditos versus Detalamas. Again, if this is your first time joining us, welcome to the Dominate Dominion tournament. It is a weekly tournament. As you can see, there are 10 total bans, so there's 2 extra bans done in chat. The casters are Chobra and Gander here today, and you can check out Dominate Dominion on the website on dominatedominion.com. Of course, there's the Twitter at DominateDom, and there's the Facebook, which is facebook.com/Dominate Dominion. I believe capital D's, so I think that's important there. And we are powered by Cyber Sports Network, so definitely go check them out too.
Yeah, CSN has made doing these brackets and stuff pretty awesome. Being able to click through to get like team info and stuff like that has been really nice. So the Cyber Sports Network thing has been pretty awesome. As all things change, I was skeptical at first, but man, it's turned out to be really rocking. So I like those guys. And definitely go like the Facebook page, man. Follow Dominate Dominion on Twitter. It's at Dominate Dom. It's because we can't fit all those letters on Twitter, so it's at Dominate Dom is Dominate Dominion on Twitter. The chat channel on North America is Dominate Dominion. Chat channel on Europe is just Dominion. So if you know anyone that plays in Europe, you have them hang out over there. They can find some Dominion games. Some of our North American players pop up over there once in a while. I encourage more cross play between realms. I think that's really cool. Also, we're seeing Eulalia back in this game. You'll notice that if you watched last week, she wasn't in last week. She was running a marathon in Hong Kong, and her team took top five. So she wanted to say that it was really hot, and they took top five, and that she has more zen than anyone because she high-fived a Buddha statue, and she would not stop talking about how pretty it was. So it's good to have her back. Congrats to her and her team for getting top five in a marathon. I cannot run that far, so big
That's pretty
big
impressive.
props to that. Now back on the Mordekaiser thing though, who do you ult? I don't know who you ult.
You know, that's an excellent question because it's gonna have to be really Kog'Maw in the end. I mean, because Darius, again, a huge part of his damage is he's a little bit of an AD caster, and you might know if you've played Mordekaiser that you can't cast spells on your pet or from your pet rather once the ult goes through. If you successfully take someone's ghost, you cannot cast spells from that figure. So you want to
Mm-hmm.
take someone whose auto attacks are going to be useful, and that's why in a standard Summoner's Rift match, you often want to take the ranged AD because they're ranged, their damage output is from basic attacks, and it's a ton of damage. But in this case, a lot of people are going to kind of build tanky. I mean, Poppy maybe, but again, you don't have the speed boost, you don't have the nuke, so I'm not sure at all who would be really preferred in this matchup. Of course, in the end, the important thing is you change the numbers around. You have another figure, you have another target, you have someone who's at least putting out some damage where it can help zone out, maybe even disrupt someone while the fight's still going if the other team tries to get a sneaky channel in around the fight.
I think that getting that extra person, though, it's going to be, will we see that happen? I mean, Poppy likes to take damage pretty well, except for diplomatic immunity, being a complete denial of that sometimes. But I think maybe if you catch Poppy at the right time, you might be able to pick her up. But I think you're spot on about Darius being a little bit too tough to get a hold of. We'll have to see how it plays out, though. I'm kind of hyped to see Mordekaiser. Also, Blind Pick Banditos and Death to Llamas have played each other 7 times in a competitive environment. Blind Pick Banditos has never lost to Death to Llamas. They're 7-0.
Wow, that is quite the record to hold up to, and we'll see how that comes through. I mean, there's the Zyra pick and there's the Mordekaiser pick. Zhenzhao, of course, the remake wasn't that long ago, so some new stuff here. Of course, Zhenzhao you've seen a little bit more now. Zyra, of course, not the newest champion. So we'll see how Blind Pick Banditos reacts to that. But again, on the blue side, it's going to be Blind Pick Banditos. This is Cho right here, your caster. We're going to run through the players real quick. Zemike is going to be on Sona, Talith PA on Darius, Ilalia on Poppy, Jaja on Udyr, and a Parkhurst on Kog'Maw. Gander is my co-caster tonight. And who do we have on the red team here?
Well, in DominateDominion.com, League of Legends Dominion Tournament number 17, round of 4, Blind Pick Banditos on the left, as you said, and we have Death to Llamas on the right side. We have Valandum playing as Zyra, Take Your Pill as Alistar, Stormfallen playing as Xin Zhao, Rep Permacharged as Jarvan IV, aka J4, and Nyx87 playing as Mordekaiser.
The interesting pick, and we do see Mordekaiser is setting up to go bot lane. So we talked about how the rest of his skill set, he has a lot of AoE pushing abilities with his Mace of Spades and also a Siphon of Destruction. Gonna have good pushing power, gonna have good clearing power, but now the ult is really just gonna be used to kind of get the advantage in a duel, if ever, or during a gank, try to turn it back around in favor of himself for a 2v1. So it still has its uses, it's just not as highlighted per se. But again, his ultimate does give a life back. It's a good damage over time skill. And if you get the kill and you need to push out a little bit, that extra ghost is going to be really helpful. Or you can have the ghost clearing while you go channel onto the tower. So we'll see how Next 87, uses that to his advantage. Meanwhile, top lane, we do see both teams have converged here and just getting some poke down.
Both teams exchanging some hits there. A little bit of a plant play from Zyra.
Not too much going down, but wow, Blind Pick Banditos actually has channeled it quite a bit without being disrupted too much. And the problem here comes in that there isn't too much ranged abilities coming out from DTL, but they do jump right in with some aggression. Stormfall is going to go down first. Ilalia will get taken down, that doesn't have that ultimate just yet, so damage is going to be fully dealt. But Kog'Maw picks up another kill onto Alistar. Now it's a 4v2. No one from Blind Pick Banditos still has been taken out. Finally, Jarvan takes out that Darius, and Zemike gonna go ahead and start zoning out Valandum as a Parkhurst goes to channel that tower, but Stormfallen comes in with that revive, picks up the kill, and should be able to pick up this extra kill here on Kog'Maw. The headbutt comes through, but the Pulverize doesn't land, so Parkhurst still has some time to run away, and that keeps Stormfallen absolutely occupied. Even though Stormfallen gets the kill, that has distracted him away from the rest of the happenings here at the window.
And with those revives coming into play, people are getting back up to this top lane here. Point still neutral at the 3-minute mark there. Stormfallen putting some damage on Ilalia, but her giving him a nice stiff wet forward with the hammer there. The Airborne goes off, but not terribly consequential there, and Ilalia's going to go ahead and Paragon back away from there, while Parker's going to chip it, Take Your Pill just a little bit before moving up to the tower. Talith PA is going to get taken out, but he was low on hit points, unfortunately. There's not a lot he can do in that situation. Gets that ult, uses it right away. Valandum's got that right there, and throws down the Crescendo for a stun. Take Your Pill, things not looking good for him. He's going to get bullied on out of there, and they're going to... Don't get too close to that Parkhurst! Parkhurst, I'm so scared. Painkiller
Wow.
survival method going to enable him to pick up the windmill.
Luz with 10 health is going to help channel this. Needs to get out of there before Valandum gets a really good snipe off of Parker's. Will finally be able to port back, and Blind Banditos does get a very hard-earned 3-cap. Meanwhile, in bot lane, we do see the Children of the Grave has been put on Jaja, and that's helping Next 87 sustain through that fight, but Jaja gets really low, especially after taking a tower hit. Now there's 3 people actually here in the bot lane. Nyack's going to stay back and continue pushing his Rep Permacharge and Stormfall and go for this tower here at the quarry, but Talos PA does come down. Rep Permacharge decides to run away as soon as possible, but Parkus does catch Stormfall, and Stormfall is a little bit slow right now, doesn't have level 2 boots, and so is gonna start backing out as early as possible. And now there's some setups here at the Storm Show. Stormfalling gets a little bit caught, so decides to jump right in to counter that initiative, but is going to get burst down right away. There is Diplomatic Immunity from Eulalia on that Alistar, so is susceptible to CC, but not susceptible to the damage, and the ult finally runs off. Eulalia still alive right now. It's doing some good damage. Does get bumped out. And can Eulalia live? Does get a heroic charge. And Valandum doesn't have the courage to just turn around and try to pick up that kill. Trying to run because Valandum believes he can get out. But a quadra kill finishes this fight in favor of Blind Banditos. So Parker's getting a quadra kill on that Kog'Maw and going straight for the drill.
Parkhurst is a scary bottom lane, an equally scary bottom or top lane as well. Picking up that quad right there in that game. Permacharge and Stormfallen coming out to the drill to chase Cog away. Cog really low on mana right now. Parkhurst doesn't really can't contribute a ton to fights right this moment, but they are going to dive for it. Left Permacharge taking a lot of damage there. Talos PA getting kicked out of the fight with that headbutt. Blandum hanging back. And Xin Zhao going to shut down. Stormfallen shutting down a Parkhurst right there. See a lot of damage getting splashed around for Medicathine Surprise. As Xin Zhao falls and take your pill, not looking long for this world either, is going to go down. And Valandum's going to walk back to the point. Nope. Poppy happened.
Eulalia does follow through, gets another charge and gets that double kill, but is going to be disrupted by that passive coming out from Zyra. On the passive dealing a little bit of a long range true damage nuke. A kind of similar fashion as Kog'Maw, but it's a long range skill shot. Stormfall does come through, but the tower has been captured. Crescendo not going to hit. Eulalia will eventually go down, but the garrison has been thrown. And Jarvan does take a little bit of damage, but does get the double kill in time to channel on this tower. Talos PA comes through. Can he get the interruption? No. The Neutralize will go down and just decides to poke at Stormfall and return. And we do have a pause. I'm assuming a little bit of a connection issue or such. So
Most likely.
Just hang tight. But, alright, so we do have a disconnect. What do you think of the game so far? And actually, you know what I'd love to do is take this time to kind of look at the builds, because in Dominion we really don't get a chance to do that other than the beginning and then the end.
Yeah, unless there's some... I try and bring it up whenever there's some downtime, but usually there's a lot of positioning stuff going on there. Pause is going to resume. We don't even have time to talk about what pause.
Well, game continues, and that is Dominion for you, everyone. Just a lot of action, fast-paced, intense matches, and it's still a 3-cap in favor of Blind Banditos right now.
Although I do see a Cage's lucky pick down there on Mordekaiser. Might be going for a DFG. There's some deforestation from Talos PA, getting that ult on Zyra right there over on the drill. This pressure that they're putting on the drill is really limiting Death to Llamas' ability to kind of push out and be active on the map, excuse me, from where they're at right now. Making sure that you sort of control your enemy's movements is a really good way to have an advantage in the game, and that's what Blind Pick Banditos has right now. Take your pill on the point. Stormfall getting caught off the point a little bit by Poppy there, but not taking a very effective, like, crazy amount of damage. Stormfall, though, is going to get that Poppy ult. Zamike's going to help chip away at it, and take your pills on the points. Flandum's over there. He's going to throw down that garrison to try and preserve that tower even longer. We'll see how this plays out. Take your pill is going to go down. Valandum's getting chipped away, and Poppy is going to pick up that kill. However, Mordekaiser down bottom seems to have been doing a pretty good job all game long. Things down there seem to have been pretty stable.
Yep, has been, kind of training pushes, I'd like to say, against Jaja's Udyr, who has been known to push very effectively. So that alone is kind of a success, but at the same time, he's been forced to go back a little bit more often. He's always been a little bit on the lower side of health, not training very effectively, and does eventually give up this neutralize here. Is going to zone out Mike, but look at this. Because he's focused on building up early damage, this Mordekaiser is super squishy, doesn't have Children of the Grave ready, and is going to get taken down by this Udyr and Poppy. If they can just get one or two hits, they do get the kill. And Jaja and Eulalia do decide to run away as Jarvan does stick to this Udyr quite well. Jaja not in a good place. Rep Permacharge does pick up that kill, but back at the drill, a double kill goes down. Once again, a multi-kill for Kog'Maw, and they're going to capture that for another 4-cap in favor of Blind Banditos.
Talith PA, we talk a lot about him being the hero of the game, but this time it's absolutely a Parkhurst who is the nightmare. He's just cleaning up left, right, and center with that Kog'Maw. He's been having a great game so far. Zamite coming down to the bottom to try and delay this point from getting captured from a 3-man push right there. Looks like they are going to be able to secure it and slow down the clock a little bit there. Might have overextended a tad from that 4-cap. Now having a couple of points get captured in funny spots on that. But Kog'Maw, Talith, and a Parkhurst over there, dynamic duo, doing a really good job of keeping this point alive over here. Stormfallen taking a lot of damage. And Nyx 87 coming up to the fight to help out, chase them off of that point there. He's got the Children of the Grave on a Parkhurst there. We go around and cut Talith PA off, but Eulalia is there now as well, and they're going to need all the damage that they can muster to be able to deal with her. She is able to take down Mordekaiser, and there's just a sliver of capture left on that tower.
Yep, meanwhile, the quarry was again taken by Death to Llamas. So it's back to a 3-cap for Blind Banditos, but they're in a really good spot right now. If they can just hold on to this, they will be able to come out victorious. Jarvan actually not able to really capitalize on that own setup. Eventually gets taken down by Udyr. Udyr surviving with that turtle stance and a ton of regen and magic resist from that Force of Nature, getting that early, having to have faced Mordekaiser, and then of course Zyra also does magic damage. So very, very good item pickup coming out from Jaja. Meanwhile, the drill has been neutralized and will be recaptured by Death to Llamas. So back to status quo, 3-cap for Blind Banditos. But can Death to Llamas come back from this? I mean, it's just been a steady decrease in their Nexus energy.
Yes, it has. Talith PA and Nyx having a little bit of an exchange down there. And the Nexus health is just steadily dropping, and it's sometimes quicker than others, as Blind Pick has been able to pick up a 4-cap on more than one occasion in this game. And there's a multi-man dive for a Parkhurst there. We'll see if he's able to weather the Stormfallen up at the top there. Parkhurst is going to go down, unfortunately, but it was a very bad spot that he got caught in 1v3 up there. Eulalia and Zamike are up there, but Talith PA is not around at the moment. They have a little bit of an opportunity. He's only getting there just now. The throw down a defensive garrison on that point. Landham doesn't quite catch everyone with that ultimate, unfortunately. Only does get one person, but Mike's going to go down. Talith's going to retreat above the point. Lawley's going to run in a circle over there for a moment before retreating back because she is low on health. And Death to Llamas is going to pick up the top. However, down on the bottom end of the map, Jaja has picked up the point.
Yeah, that's really good communication coming here from Blind Banditos. They started to kind of stall, and once it was confirmed that Jaja was going to be able to pick up the Boneyard, you saw everyone just back out as much as they could. So Mike was just simply kind of sandwiched, not in a good spot. 2v1 right now at the Boneyard, but there comes the Garrison, and Jaja should be able to hold this for quite a while longer, giving time for Poppy and Kog'Maw to capture that windmill. Again, really, really good timing across the map. It's not just at one tower that you see the communication, but right now, Blind Banditos, they're just timing the whole map quite well, and Jaja actually does pick up one kill against Nyx 87, but does get shut down by Jarvan. The neutralizer at the windmill, however, has already happened. They pick up a kill, and they're going to be able to recapture that. So again, just communicating, saying, you know what, I'll try to stall at this tower, give you time to capture the one at top, and we'll just keep trading back and forth to maintain this recap. Meanwhile, Eulalia dives on to 2 people here, had picked up that kill onto Zyra, but does get shut down by Stormfallen. However, it's still a 3v2 in favor of Blind Banditos. Stormfallen in a terrible spot right there, taking a ton of damage from this Kog'Maw. Take your pill, also going to get nuked down by Darius and Kog'Maw. Zyra tries to save with the snare, but not going to be successful and gets caught by the Void Oozes, absolutely slowed as Darius continues to chase through. And at this point, Blind Banditos doesn't even need to go for the tower. They just need to go for damage and stalling. They want to keep up a team fight so that Death to Llamas doesn't have room to get away from their spawn. If they can keep up the siege at the drill, they should be able to get this victory within the next minute or so.
There's a couple of airbornes going off right there to help control that fight a little bit. several people dying at once there. Zinzao picking up the triple kill. He likes to get the high scores. Mike's getting moving on down to this bottom point here. Going to help Jaja out with Nick's 87. Not going for the windmill. Figures I have enough time to be able to try and put pressure on here. I have my teammates heading up to the windmill. Jaja's looking a little uncertain down there at the bottom. I want to come down, swing down there, say hi. You know, let Nick's not feel super comfortable where he's at. And Talith and Parkhurst hanging around up at the top. They've been an excellent team so far this entire game. Talith PA getting in people's faces, keeping people back away from Parkhurst a little bit. Got that apprehend to help him out with that. And Parkhurst just delivering the damage one shot after another. Alalia is not going to get that storm shield. She's going to get airborne instead. And she get airborne a couple times. She get airborne 3 times. Triple airborne on Alalia. She's very bouncy.
A lot of airbornes, actually, as a matter of fact, on this Deathalamas team, but it's not going to be enough. They are going to head over to the windmill to try to get this neutralized. Meanwhile, Jaja not in a good spot, has that Children of Grave on him, and the DFG, no, it's not going to be able to finish off, but there comes the mace from Mordekaiser, picks up that kill. Now has that Ghost to be able to push through. The revive is down on Jaja, so if Nice can get a good push down here, he might be able to hold a quick 3-cap for Deathalamas. They only have 16 points, though. The fight at top, however, is going in their favor, it seems, for the time. Talith PA does get the dunk onto Zyra and now is on a chase for Take Your Pill, but Stormfallen has chased down Zemike and is going to go for this refinery, but not necessarily the best of choice because the revive was up for Zemike. Meanwhile, at bottom, Nice does finally get caught having tried to push down that quarry, and Eulalia picks up that kill. Eulalia is going to start the channel here. Jarvan is going to come down, should be able to get the interrupt, but it's all going to come down to the action up at top lane. Take Your Pill is left open to charge up on this tower. Zemike does get the slow. Take Your Pill dives right back in with that headbutt, and there comes the damage from Talith PA. Picks up the kill as he retreats. Doesn't want to have to get caught by Stormfallen, and then turns around when Zemike is ready to help with the fight. 2v1, they pick up that kill. They're going to get the 3-cap up at the windmill, no problem, and that should be game in favor of Black Banditos.
Only got to hold it a little bit, and they'll be able to seal the deal there. Once they get below 10 health on the enemy Nexus, they won't have it anymore. There's a push going on down bottom that has the potential to extend the game further right now. Next and Rep Permacharge. Nope, there is a Garrison. Jaja shuts down any idea of them having a potential to stop the clock right there. And this game is going to go to Blind Pick Banditos. Blind Pick Banditos is going to advance to the finals.
Got to be another finals with Blind Pick Banditos. Good game, and again, congrats to Blind Pick Banditos on moving on up there. So Lalia Poppy just celebrating the victory there at the enemy Nexus.